In this video, I'll uncover a 4-step process on how you can get rid of those love handles. Hi ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Zyrowski and welcome back to the channel. Now if you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and join our notification community. That way it can help you skyrocket your health. Now in this video, we're going to talk about how to lose love handles fast. Now this is important because a lot of people are trying to lose them, but they're going about it in all the wrong ways. And love handles are frustrating because it's one of the first things to come and the last things to go. So what I'm going to teach you is my 4-step process to help you get rid of those love handles and reach your goals there. Let's go ahead and dive in. Now, we're going to talk about step 1. Step 1 is about diet. Now, knowing me, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I'm not about magic pills and potions that don't work, right? I'm about doing the right things, going further upstream and getting right at the root cause of the problem so you can truly fix it. And of course, do it in a sustainable way that's going to last. Now, when we look at diet, it's very important to first focus on balancing hormones. When you talk about balancing your metabolic hormones like insulin and ghrelin and leptin, these different hormones are very important to have balance within if you're trying to lose that fat around the midsection. But more importantly, you have to be eating a diet that allows for this to happen. You need to be eating a good low carb diet. You need to be eating a diet that's high in cruciferous vegetables. You need to make sure that you're eating a whole food diet. These are all very important in order to help balance out these hormones. And of course, a good anti-inflammatory diet. If you're not familiar with what that is, I'll put a link to one in the description. And I'll put a lot more resources in the description down here below for anything we talk about in this video. Now, next is processed foods. We need to make sure that we're getting rid of those. The processed sugars, like your desserts, processed sugars like the sugary drinks, right? Sodas, the teas, all these energy drinks that people are drinking on a daily basis that are loaded with sugars and putting that fat on around the waist. You really got to get rid of that stuff because it's so surprising to people when they remove it, the changes that they see. So get rid of those different sugary drinks, the different sugars that you're consuming, and then of course get rid of those bad carbs. Stop waking up in the morning and eating breakfast cereals and bagels and having a big sandwich for lunch. We got to make sure we're getting away from that stuff, the chips, all these different carbs that are not adding to our success when trying to get rid of those love handles. And then lastly, what we want to do is focus on removing the bad fats. The bad fats are going to drive a lot of inflammation in the body. With that inflammation, you're going to see the hormones have a lot more issues. You're going to see the hormone receptors become inflamed and they're not going to communicate properly. We have to get rid of those bad fats. So think about like all the foods at these fast food restaurants, all these fried foods, because they're frying them in cheap and low quality oils. And so we got to get rid of those. They're raising up those omega-6 levels in the body, raising up inflammation, causing havoc. And the other thing that happens is when you take all these different bad foods, it raises estrogen levels in the body in both men and females, and as a result, it's going to cause fat storage. So we got to clean this up here, very important. Now step 2, and this is the process that we don't want to leave out. This is a strategy that's so powerful. Now a lot of people who are trying to get some fat burning in, essentially, I tell them you've got to add in fasting. It's just so simple to add in, and I think that for some people it's a mental block. They just don't want to go there. They're afraid to go there, but it's so easy. If we can just get somebody to implement a 16-8 fasting routine, I mean, they're amazed at the results and they're amazed at how easy it is, but we just have to get them there. But you don't want to pass up fasting when you're looking to get rid of those love handles, because essentially here's what happens. Once you burn through your glycogen stores, basically the research shows that you're going to burn through your glycogen storage and see some big metabolic changes around the 12-hour mark. We see insulin levels drop. We're going to see the blood sugar levels drop. We're going to see hormones start to balance out. And so once we burn through these glycogen stores, which is stored sugar in the liver, we have one other place to go, and that's burning fat for energy. So basically, if you're doing fasting on a daily basis, like intermittent fasting, your body is going to turn to that fat and start utilizing that fat around the waist, that fat around the arms that you're trying to get rid of. It's going to start using that for energy, and that's very powerful. So we don't want to pass this up. It's so important. And so once we start burning that fat for energy, we're going to start losing those love handles. The 16-8 or the 1 meal a day method is going to be one of the best ways to go about doing this. 16-8 basically means that you're fasting for 16 hours, eating your meals within an 8-hour period. 1 meal a day is you're going to fast for about 22, 23 hours and eat all your meals just within a very short period of time. is it's very powerful because essentially what's going to happen is you're going to be burning fat for a long time throughout the day. Now, here's the deal too. If you go and you include fasting and proper training in, which I'll get to in a second here, you're going to get even better results. Let's talk about exercise because this is an important process, right? Like we got to make sure that step 1's under control, step 2's under control because we don't want to pass it up. It's too easy. And then we go to step 3. Step 3 is we're going to focus on doing some exercises that's going to help strengthen our core. First of all, we're going to do planks and we're going to do side planks. The reason I love planks, that particular exercise, is because it's so easy to slip in throughout your day. Busy day at the office, you can still get some planks in the break room or in just any spot that you have some room to do a few exercises in, right? So adding in planks is very easy. It's very important to make sure that we're working on strengthening our core. It's just like anything. If we want, it to start shaping up a bit and we want to, see some better results, we want to make sure that we strengthen that area. So if you're trying to lose fat on your arms, for instance, let's say you have some flabby arms here, you're trying to get rid of them. One of the things, not only do we have to lose fat, but we also want to strengthen that area, strengthen our bicep, our tricep, our shoulder, get great results. Now we also want to focus on doing that with our core because once we actually start to strengthen that area, it's going to start coming together and we're going to start seeing those love handles decrease. Now it's not all about just doing a bunch of core exercises. Some people go that route and that's not the answer either. We want to just make sure that we're doing some core focus but also some other exercises as well. High intensity interval training is really powerful. High intensity interval training is basically where you're doing a very intense workout all within like a 20-25 minute period. Very, very powerful. And if you combine that with fasting, what you're going to find is 16-8 intermittent fasting, doing that high intensity interval training prior to breaking your fast, you're going to really boost up the growth hormone, boost up those hormones that are going to help you burn fat, but also what you're going to find is that it's going to be one of the most effective exercises for burning fat altogether. Next on our list is some full body weight training. Now this is really important because when we look at the research, it shows that when we involve more muscles into our training routine, we're going to start burning more calories, we're going to burn more fat. And so doing full body workouts is really powerful for fat burning. We can even do some different exercises that's going to involve a lot of muscles in the body. It's going to activate a lot of muscles. So an example of this would be picking up a set of dumbbells, doing a squat. When you come out of the squat, do a bicep curl, come up into a shoulder press, come back down, bicep curl, squat. It involves a lot of muscles and it's really great for fat burning. And so not only training your upper body and your lower body all in one day, but also doing some exercises that involves the full body to really activate all the different muscle groups. It's going to be powerful and it's going to help you burn that fat off. Now, next and last on our list is going to be step 4. And this is important too, because this is one of the things where people are putting that fat around the waist and they don't even realize it. And it's about decreasing stress, okay? When you decrease stress in the body, some big things happen. And so we want to make sure that we're decreasing stress because when we have a high amount of stress that's chronic in the body, essentially a couple bad things happen to us. First of all, we have a high amount of cortisol floating in the body, a stress hormone. It releases a lot of blood sugar into the body because it's a way of, the sympathetic nervous system activating. It releases that blood sugar for quick energy. And then the other thing that happens with it is it raises up insulin and that stores fat, okay? And so we have to make sure that if we decrease stress, we're going to decrease cortisol and we're going to get better results that way. Making sure that you're using things like mindful meditation, using things like getting proper sleep at night, and then just working to decrease stress in your daily environment is going to be really powerful when it comes to losing that fat around the waist. People say it all the time. When they start decreasing stress, they start decreasing fat storage and they also start losing those love handles. So make sure that not only are we focusing on diet and fasting and exercise, but we're focusing in on some different lifestyle techniques that are really going to help us go and lose those love handles. So if you have any questions, put it in the comment section here below. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to learn more about how to take proper supplementation, how to reverse health conditions, how to follow a good healthy diet, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I'm going to help you do all of that. Now, the other thing is be sure to share this video with a friend who is trying to lose love handles and just keeps failing at it because this is going to be true information that gets to the root cause. Lastly, check out my other videos that are really going to help you improve your health. I'll see you in the next video.